You were fine. Everything felt stable. You weren't overthinking. You weren't checking. You weren't trying to fix anything. It felt consistent, like something had finally settled. And then, out of nowhere, something feels off again. Not enough to completely throw you off, but enough to notice it, enough to make you pause for a second. And almost automatically, a question shows up. Did I lose it? That moment right there is where most people go wrong. Because what you're feeling doesn't mean you lost the manifesting state. It means you're experiencing something that happens after the state begins to stabilize. Something most people aren't prepared for, because stability doesn't erase your old patterns overnight. It changes your foundation. But your system still has memory. The way you used to respond to certain situations, the way you used to interpret things, the way your attention used to lock onto certain thoughts. Those patterns don't disappear instantly. They fade over time. And every once in a while, something activates them again. It could be something small, a message that feels slightly off, a delay that you didn't expect, someone's tone feeling different than usual. Nothing major, but just enough to create a reaction. And for a moment, your system responds the way it used to. But here's the difference now. Before, that reaction would have taken over. You would have followed it, expanded it, started building a story around it, trying to figure out what it meant, trying to fix it, trying to regain control. And without realizing it, you would have been fully back in that old version of yourself. But now, it doesn't fully pull you in like that. You feel it, but you're also aware of it at the same time. It's almost like two things are happening at once. There's the reaction, and then there's you noticing the reaction. And that split creates a strange feeling, because part of you is experiencing something familiar, but another part of you knows this doesn't feel the same anymore. And that's where the discomfort comes from. Not because something is wrong, but because something is changing. You're no longer fully identified with the reaction, but it hasn't completely disappeared yet either. So you're in between. And most people don't understand this phase, so they assume something went wrong. They think, I was doing so well. Why is this happening again? So they try to fix it. They start paying attention to themselves again, monitoring their thoughts again, trying to get back to that stable feeling. And that's what actually pulls them out, because now they've shifted from being in the state to trying to manage the state again. But this moment was never something you needed to fix. It was something you needed to recognize. Because if you look closely, even in that moment where you feel off, you're still different than you were before. You don't spiral the same way. You don't attach to it as quickly. You don't build the same meaning around it. There's space now, even if it's small, and that space is everything, because it means the reaction is no longer your identity. It's just something passing through. And the more you treat it like a problem, the more attention you give it, the more real it starts to feel. Remember, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you stop reacting to the reaction, when you don't try to correct it, something else happens. It fades. Not because you forced it to, but because it doesn't have the same foundation anymore. And you might notice something else too. These moments don't last as long as they used to. What used to take hours now passes in minutes. What used to take over your day now barely holds your attention, and eventually, it stops showing up in the same way at all. Not because you fought it, but because you stopped reinforcing it. So the next time you feel slightly off, don't turn it into a question. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to get back to anything, because there's nothing to go back to. You didn't lose the state. You just noticed something that no longer fully belongs to you. And the fact that it feels off now is the clearest sign that you've already changed. Subscribe and enter your manifesting state.